Hey guys, Andrew coming at you, and I read this before, but I was going to read Christina's comment because she talked about a few things at the end of her comment of what Europeans can learn from Americans. I thought that was only fair to do, so I'm going to kind of go into that a little bit. I hope you're having a nice weekend, and let's just get into it. So, from Americans, we can learn to always see the positive side of things. Every American that I have met so far believes in the fact that you can become whatever you want if you put enough effort into it. In Germany, people tend to give up more easily and get stuck in situations that make them unhappy. I wish we could get out of our comfort zone a bit more and not care about security so much. By making these videos, you are certainly inspiring people to reflect on their values. Well, thank you very much for the nice comment. I think a positive thing we have as Americans is we're always told to dream big from a really young age. And although these things aren't really possible, you kind of grow up thinking all things are possible. And I think that kind of mindset really supports a lot of entrepreneurs and businesses and like visionaries when you just see how influential America is when it comes to technology. Another thing I think Americans have, and a lot of times when I'm going to talk about these positive things, I think positive things can always be a negative as well, of course. But when I mean by visionary, I mean you look at Amazon, for example. You look at these companies that we have. We're always looking for something very convenient to help people. And so we're always kind of moving in the direction faster. Whether everything's going to be good for the environment or not, I'm taking that out of it. I just mean like the overall just being a visionary and seeing these things about the future. So I think this is a very good quality to have as Americans, that from kids we have this dream big mentality, and a lot of rags to riches stories where people come from nowhere basically and are able to do so good. I was just reading a recent story about Kevin Hart, the comedian, and how he really came from nothing. And one comedian was talking about how he had to pay for his electricity in his name because he couldn't afford it. And now you look and see what the lifestyle he has. So I think our society that we have, although there's good and bad qualities in it, it helps breed that kind of mentality of we can do anything. So I think that's very good. And I also just say the visionary side of things, of just coming up with more convenient ways. I mean, I'm not saying fast food is a good thing, obviously, but if you look at the influence we've had on that. And then finally, I just think we have such an influence on culture in general. Good and bad things, of course. But what I mean is culture as far as ideas that come out in movies. I think it has an influence on the rest of the world as well. If I just think of just maybe social ideas or things to work on, we just have that in our movies and film so much, and I just think people learn a lot from that. So these are the good qualities we have, and like I was saying before, I think good qualities in societies can also be bad. So this dream big mentality, this only having one shot mentality, a lot of times it's a lot of pressure though. Like, oh, I can't do this thing over again if I don't do well on it, or it's a lot of pressure. So that's why I think it's also good with bad. Also the competition and anything's possible kind of mentalities. It's a lot of pressure to put on the individual, but it does help us kind of grow better and faster. So that's what I got for you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.